Okay. Here we go. What's the deal? This is your boy Battle Rap Chuck 92. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. So I see, this Sue Surf thing and this blogger thing is kind of getting like a little too crazy, especially as far as like when it comes to delusion. Okay. Now, like I said in my other blog, Verb is the one that has said it. Eventually, you guys are going, you guys are going to fall. And when Verb was actually saying that, it made a whole lot of sense as far as like what he was saying. If you go back to as far as what Verb was saying about like the whole situation, you would definitely understand as far as what's going on now. So, first off, let me just like really just talk about like the Jack Boy Main and Bill thing. And you guys probably don't feel like this doesn't really have anything to do with the situation. But when people say, as far as like all, when battle rappers say all the bloggers do is, talk about the drama or whatever the case might be. It's like when I first had gotten introduced to the spaces, this was around the time when it was popping. You know what I'm saying? You had Bill Collector and Sue Surf going at it. Sue Surf is saying that's why Bill got knocked out and he got beat up. Bill Collector telling Surf, he got shot or whatever. And they telling people to chill out, calm down. When, you guys, when a person like Sue Surf go to the media and then he says all these battle rappers do is just brag about the drama. Well, my whole thing is that you just don't want to give bloggers or whoever to give them, or you don't want to give the bloggers or whatever to comment on that drama. You don't want people to, comment on that type of drama. Then don't put it out there if you do not want people to blog about it. Okay. And then to me, that also goes towards like when it comes to smack and people like that. When you also say certain things to where you say, yeah, Charlie Clips and Lou Castro is out, Hollow and DNA is out, and the bloggers do not blog about that. Okay, that's understandable to an extent. But then see, my thing is though, it's not, and I'm talking like, and this is like what I'm talking about everybody, to the bloggers, to the fans, to the battle rappers. It's not our fault that we just want, like, it's not our fault that that we just want to just make a prediction on the whole, like on the whole card, when they take the goddamn longest to come out with all these battles that's going down. That's not our fault. Yeah, I could, we could talk about Charlie Clips and Lou Castro or Hollow the Don and DNA. Yeah, we could do that. Sometimes I will say such and such has been announced. What you guys think about this? I haven't predicted on this yet, but what do you guys think about this? So when it comes to certain things like this, you really have to know what you're talking about. I'm just more the type of person where it's like, okay, let's just see what this whole card is about. Spaces wasn't always positive. You have Sue Surf and Serious Jones going at it. You got Math Hoffa and Sue Surf going at it. You got Yoshi G going at it with old girl, I forgot her name. Pharaoh. You know what I'm saying? Pharaoh Funeral. You know what I'm saying? You got Yoshi G going at it with her. You know what I mean? You got A Verb, you know what I'm saying? Daniel kind of going at it with Sue Surf. Even though they didn't threat each other as far as like on the spaces, like, man to man talk, it wasn't, it wasn't nothing like that. But you heard Surf saying certain things about Verb, and then you heard Verb saying, okay, if you said what you said, then you got to stand by that, when you see me. Spaces wasn't always a positive situation. That's what I'm just trying to understand. It wasn't always positive like that. It wasn't, you know what I'm saying, like it wasn't always positive. And then another thing that kind of just got me is you said something about Stephen A. You said about Stephen A. Smith. He would talk about it basically being good or bad when LeBron basically plays. If LeBron basically plays like crap, he will bring it to the media. If LeBron is actually playing good, he will basically talk about how good he's playing up in the media. Okay, that's cool. But then see, my thing is though, what make you think that the bloggers don't do certain things like that? That's kind of a bad comparison, because it's a lot of basketball players that's not really feeling Stephen A. Smith. I don't think Stephen A. Smith is no longer really like on good terms with Stephen Jackson. At first, Durant wasn't getting along with Stephen A. Smith. Kyrie Irving do not like Stephen A. Smith. It's a lot of people that do not like Stephen A. Smith because as far as like what he's talking about. Now, as far as the basketball players, I'm pretty sure 99% of the basketball players could beat Stephen A. Smith one-on-one. You know what I'm saying? I don't do no battle rap or nothing like that. Hey, you know, y'all probably could beat me. But at the end of the day, I know like what I'm talking about when it comes to the battle rap talk. I know how some of these things go. I know the difference, like I know the difference between a positive and a negative. And speaking of positive and negative, people always focus on the negative more than the positive. If you go to YouTube and then you see Fat Joe congrats 50 Cent for his birthday, who gonna want to go to that? Y'all not gonna want to go to that. But if it says something like Fat Joe said he wanted to beat the living crap out of such and such, the views just goes up sky high. Especially if Fat Joe end up meeting with this person. You know what I'm saying, like the negative is a very, 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 very big thing. It's a very, very, very big thing as far as the negative. It shouldn't be like that. So when you could sit here and say, well, you know, this and that person do not talk about the Charlie Clips versus Lou Castro. This and that person don't talk about the Hollow the Don versus DNA. Well, okay, well, how, you know what I'm saying, since you know Smack Them so much, since you know Smack Them is like your brothers or whatever the case might be, how about you tell them to basically put that card out so some of these people could make predictions about it. We could sit here and talk about these two battles on a card, but then what's going on with the other ones? And then another thing, you guys did the situation where you guys attacked Rare Breed Entertainment. You guys said that Rare Breed Entertainment is the KFC. I don't have to say no names because we all know who said something about Rare Breed Entertainment. We all know who said that, you know what I'm saying, that Rare Breed, you know what I'm saying, is the KFC. That's not being positive in the spaces. That's not being positive in the spaces at all. ARP don't be bothering nobody, but you guys seem to just basically just comment on certain things like that. But then see, like, what kind of kills me with some of these things, right? Maybe when like a Jack Boy Maine or a bill collector and a surf get on spaces, okay, maybe sometimes they just want to just chill and just have fun, you know what I'm saying, like on the spaces, you know, other than basically just like hosting and basically owning these battles and getting some of these battles together, trying to go buy cameras and go buy belts. Other than that, they could just be on there just talking mess. But if that's the case, you don't see Beasley doing anything like that. You don't see Smack doing anything like that. You don't see ARP doing anything like that. Usually when ARP is doing like a blog, he's blogging about some of his stuff and like what he likes about battle rap. He had a couple of blogs about some of the battle rappers that I would say like disrespected him, and he felt like he had to get them back. He had to get them as far as payback. But you don't see Smack on there talking bad about people. You don't see Beasley on there talking bad about people. If I go to his spaces right now, I guarantee you won't see a Smack on there talking about nobody, no Beasley. Like, you won't hear them talking about nobody. They might say what they, you know what I'm saying, like they might say whatever they want to say behind closed doors. That's cool. That's cool. They might say what I'm saying, like whatever they want to say behind closed doors. That's fine. But then when you go into spaces and you start talking about things, and then when somebody blog on it, you want to get mad at the bloggers. But then at the same time, to me, it's just like, okay, why are you talking about negative things on the spaces? I can't be a part of no spaces going at it with somebody. Because I just feel like if I'm going at it with somebody, I might as well see you in person. So therefore, there's no need for that. Now, other than the spaces, if you're talking about certain people, like certain dudes that be just blogging about the negative, I'm not with that. And it's a couple of bloggers that do certain things like that. I'm not with that. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I know a lot of bloggers, they don't recap, they don't do none of this. They'll talk about things that I don't care about, but it's very, very negative. I'm not going to say no names, but it's certain people that talk about things that I don't even care about. And it's always a negative channel. All the time. All the time. It's always a negative channel. But you know me, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm dang like on a come up. But hey, I'ma just keep doing what I gotta do, you know what I'm saying? For my stuff to go up, it is what it is. But I will not attack negative things just for my stuff to go up. It don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it don't work that way. And then to me, like, see, I pay attention to things very, very well. Bill Collector, he goes against Mike P in a battle. He talking about his baby mama or whatever, you know. It ain't gonna make her swallow all them people or whatever, you know. Like, I remember that line or whatever. After that, it was like a handshake, and then Bill Collector gave him a hug, and then Bill Collector was whispering to him and telling him everything gonna be all right. All this came to the situation to where Geechee Gotti did his baby mama, and then you got people like a Bill Collector, everybody like on like the spaces laughing at Mike P. Bill Collector talking about it like, oh man, you know, Mike P, man, you know this Black Power, and but like I just don't understand though. Like I don't understand this. You know what I'm saying? So on the spaces, you guys were really like laughing at that about the Mike P baby mama thing. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Like, you guys were doing that too. So that's another thing that kind of like did it for me. I'm just like, okay, once again, it's like, okay, people talking about the negative, but it's like there's a lot of negative things on the spaces. There's a lot, you know what I'm saying? Like, there's a lot of negative things on the spaces. I don't see how people play like that. For Tsu Surf to, even me going back to the situation with Tsu Surf saying that's why Bill Collector got beat up and he got knocked out and his eye was swollen or whatever. And then Bill Collector like, yeah, like that's why you got shot or whatever. And it's just like, I just don't understand stuff like that, bro. I just don't. But that's why I always tell men, be your own man around here. Do what you gotta do. Worry about you. If you got a family, worry about your family. If it's just you, a single man or whatever, just worry about you. I remember about like 9 years ago, my homie hit me up and was like, hey, you want to do a clothing, you know what I'm saying? Like, you want to do a clothing line? Like, I was thinking, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you into the fashion, I'm into the fashion. I told him straight up, I said, hey, on the real, that sounds good and all, but I'm focusing on me right now. I don't feel like putting in, like, I ain't trying to put in no money in on nothing or whatever the case might be. Like, I'm not trying to focus on no business like that. I'm trying to focus on me. I'm trying to focus on what I got to do. He was like, all right, yeah, I feel you. But I could easily just sit here and say, oh, yeah, man, for sure. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Heck yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, you already know I'm with it. But then at the end of the day, you know, I'm really not with it in my head, though. I'm really not with it. I'm just saying I'm with it because I just want to be down. I just, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just want to just be down. So, like, let me just go on and just say, yeah. And I'm not trying to say that with Tsu Surf and Jack Boy Maine, you know, and Bill Collector. But then it's just like, as soon as Tsu Surf was talking about Midnight Madness, you know, they're just like, oh, okay, for sure. Because they, you know, because at the end of the day, I feel like they really do like Surf as a person, which is cool. You know what I mean? And then they just want to be a part of it. And then they're like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? We're doing something with Surf. We're going to do this, and then we're going to do that. That's what I think. But then sometimes you have to just take your time and just sit back and you just have to just sit back and you have to watch and just see how things play out. That's how that, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's how this game works with anything in life. And then on top of that, you also had Big T, you know what I'm saying? You also had Big T complaining. And once again, people focus on the negative more than the positive. And this is the thing with Big T. Big T is still up in a situation to where he's still trying to figure it out in these rooms. When I seen Big T battle back at the time, years ago, 6 years ago, Big T had the crowd on his side and all. They felt Big T. That, you know what I'm saying? That, you know, that people looked at Big T as the real street dude from Chicago, right? It comes to now where the only problem that Big T is going through now is that the type of style that he has, it just might don't work as far as for right now. Because Big T, he would talk about a whole lot of things, and then he wait to get it's like he wait till he gets to the punch. And I noticed he been going through that a lot. But I'm the one that's basically sitting here saying Big T might have to probably figure out something else to basically get to his point faster. That's the whole thing with Big T. So when Big T is basically saying some of these things, I have to like really, really understand, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you actually like mean about this? What are you saying? What are you saying with some of these things as far as like how you feel? What are you basically saying, Big T? As far as like when you say certain things about like the bloggers and things like that, I just like want to know, how do you feel about this for real, for real? Because you said, you know what I'm saying, you agree as far as with surf or whatever. This is my thing though. I don't care what it is. Everybody where people work and everything that people basically wanted to do in life, they'll take it a certain way. You could be a mailman or whatever, and one of your other mail carrier friends said if they feel like you slow and you don't do this and then you don't do that, 9 times out of 10 that person gonna take it some type of way. Basketball players and football players, they take it some type of way when some people be talking about them in the media, like a Skip Bayless or Shannon Sharp, a Stephen A. Smith to a Skip Bayless. It was Stephen A. Smith to like a Max Kellerman or whoever. They take it some type of way because they're passionate and to what they do. So that's why I can understand this to an extent. But then when you talk about negative things, people are going to speak on the negative. People are also going to speak on the positive. Some people are just going to speak on the positive. But then some people are just going to speak on the negative. Some people are going to do both. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how this go. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just how this type of stuff go. And to be honest with you, I ain't trying to be negative about this. But we'll just see how long Sue Surf, Bill Collector, and Jack Boy Maine will be able to work together. Because my thing is, though, if you say that you're irritated as far as like with like the bloggers and things like that, and if you're saying you're irritated about it, okay, well then yeah, go on and get off the spaces. But if you ain't worried about it, and if you feel like, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, like my whole thing is, if you feel like you all the way up here, then it just comes to the situation where you shouldn't even be worrying about certain things like that then. If that's the case, you shouldn't be worrying about certain things like that. But I could sit here and point out a lot of things. The Yoshi G situation, you know, Sue Surf saying he won't book Snake Eyes again. People talking about Rare Breed Entertainment, talking about his KFC, and you know, people talking about Mike P. Baby Mama. And it just, you know what I'm saying, like, it just don't stop. It doesn't stop. You know what I'm saying? It keeps going. It keeps going up in the flow. But that's why I'm just like, okay, if URL has something to do with this, URL has something to do with this, it ain't really like no big deal like that to me. Okay, it is what it is. Do y'all thing, do what y'all gotta do. But all I'm just saying is that you really have to sit back, and you have to be able to really just like watch. Like, you really have to watch and just see how things play out. You just gotta just sit back and watch, instead of just trying to be just so quick to just be a part of something. It shouldn't be like that. So I don't know, man. I I would highly be I would be very surprised if a lot of these people didn't really like agree with me on some of these things. You know what I mean? Because some of these things is true. Like for real. Some of these things is true. So so it's just like you really have to understand as far as like certain things, as far as like what you're talking about, like, when people want to say that all these people do is just really like talk about like the negative stuff or whatever, you really have to pay attention to some of these things, because this spaces hasn't always been negative. And the more you stay on that spaces and you want to stay on it for hours and hours and hours, eventually y'all gonna get done. Dang, they're talking about everything. And some of them things are going to involve heated arguments. But I really do not see how people could say certain things to people and then they want to be on the spaces and talk about it. I honestly don't understand that. Salute to the people that, that's not on it. I honestly do not understand that. I don't understand it. Okay, man, Holla and Verb, they was on the spaces I think that was yesterday actually, and I actually enjoyed that, man, because they're just talking about battle rap. It ain't no negative stuff going on up in battle rap, man. It ain't no negative stuff. Like, it ain't no negative stuff going on. And it's like, sir, it's just like, you be talking about like Mav Hoffa, you be talking about Serious Jones, you be like, you talk a little bit of trash to Bonnie Godiva, but so it's like, what do you expect? What do you expect? You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm really just trying to understand that. What do you expect? Because ESPN be talking about the time. ESPN was blowing the media up when old boy Stewart from Detroit Pistons was trying to attack LeBron. They was talking about that for dang near like a week. That didn't have nothing to do with basketball. Well, it kind of did, but it like at the end of the day, it had something to do with, okay, he hit me in my face. Let me go get him. I'm leaking. My face is like, my mouth is leaking right now. Like, let me go get. They talking about why LeBron got suspended. Did LeBron James do it on purpose? It's the same thing. So when you bring up the media, you right in a way, because the same thing as far as like what you guys are doing to, as far as like the bloggers and stuff like that, it's the same thing what the basketball players and the football players and the boxers be saying about the people in the media from ESPN. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. So, you know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, man, like I said, like, it will come to a situation where people is going to want money from Midnight Madness, and we'll see how long that, how long, we'll see how long that turns out. We'll see how long that stays. Because I think a couple of people are not too happy about that, about A Ward getting, like, like getting a deposit for this. I don't think that they're too excited about that, most of the battlers. But like I said, man, y'all was on there talking about Mike P like crazy though, bro. So I just don't understand. Like, for real. Like, I don't understand. But then when somebody talk about certain people, about like some of their problems, they get mad about it. That's why I trust these people. When I hear battle rappers be like, man, I don't be talking to these battle rap, I don't be talking to these battle rap dudes. But then when y'all get on spaces, it's they're like 15 battle rappers up in the same room as each other. I just don't understand. Like, either you F with somebody or you don't. So, so that's how I feel about the whole situation, man. I just feel like, you got to call a spade at the end of the day, and you got to be real about some of the, about some of the things that you're saying. And that's to Big T, that's to Jack Boy Maine. Bill Collector's not really saying that much, but then, like, that's to Sue Surf, and that's to all y'all, man. You guys got to really know as far as like what you guys are talking about. And at the end of the day, if I sit here and if I sit here and say Big T haven't found as far as like his strategy to what he's going to use into like that small room, I'm only really just saying is that Big T still has a chance up in there. It's the same thing, because I'm just bringing up ESPN again because this is what they said. Oh, Stephen A. Smith don't do this. Stephen A. Smith don't do that. Stephen A. Smith said, said a couple of times, well, you know what? If Westbrook get that jump shot, he'll be more effective. If Westbrook get triple doubles and don't do turnovers, he'll be all right. It's the same thing, man. Same thing. So come on, y'all, get it together, bro. Get it together. But this y'all boy Battle Rap Chuck 92. Subscribe to my channel. Subscribe. Gone.